separate. Just take all the green beans and corn home. See, I need 2.5, 2.5. Every time it's on the work, you're stomach hurt. You know.
Hello there. Welcome to Amazon Live Computer Pile Incorporated. We are so excited tonight to have our first author join us in this author series. I met this young man a while back and was truly impressed with him and have been following him throughout the years. And I was so excited he accepted the invitation to come on Amazon Live, this new platform. And we're going to be talking to him about his book, Can I Speak? So we'll go ahead and bring him on. And I'm new to this, so let's see. There he is. Are you there?
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on?
Hey, man, nice to see you.
Good to see you, too. It's been a minute. It's been a long time.
It's been a while, I tell you. I enjoy your shows, your podcasts. Man, I tell you, I love those. Whenever I get a chance to see them, I even go back and watch the replay. Well, so they're really nice, you know. So, man, like I say, let me first ask you a question. Have you ever heard of Amazon Live?
You were the first one that brought it to me. So,
wow,
yeah,
wow. Well, let me just give you a quick update of what Amazon Live is. Is basically, have you heard of QVC? Where you is a show QVC where they're selling products and people are calling in and order.
Oh yeah.
So that's basically what Amazon Live is. Basically, we were doing live shows such as this, and then we basically have a carousel at the bottom. Anybody, those people that are Amazon Live will see the products that we have at the bottom, and if they order, I get a commission off of it. So
let's get those orders in.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a new platform. It's been around for about 3 years, and a lot of people try to make it on YouTube, to get monetized, but it takes so much. And then you can jump on Amazon Live and start making commission day one. Wow! So it is awesome. So today
I'm gonna have to change things up.
Yeah, I know I did because I was working on YouTube. It's hard. I got to tell you, it takes a lot of work. You have to do a lot of editing the video. Here, you're live. It's done. Once it's over, it's done. So what we have in our carousel at the bottom, your book, and it's highlighted right now for those that are Amazon Live. So what we wanted to do is just get in it and talk to the author of Can I Speak? I have the book here. Can I Speak? Levi Simmons. Well, obviously, the first question everybody wants to know is what inspired you to write the book?
That's a good question. So, first off, thank you for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it. It really means a lot. Secondly, what inspired me to write that book? When I was going through PTSD, I really honed in on my ability to write. You know,
Mhm.
I've always had this ability to write poems and songs, but it was always just like, you know, kid stuff, you know, back then. And it didn't really mean into anything to me at that moment when I was younger. But then after coming back from Afghanistan and having PTSD and going through some difficult situations in my life, wrestling with suicide and depression and alcohol addiction, you know, I started to write, you know, and I would write before I would take some medication or something like that, you know, because the VA gave me the medication for my PTSD, but it wasn't, it didn't feel good to me to take that medication.
Mhm.
So just applying faith as well as writing poetry, it helped, showed, it revealed the deepest parts about me to
Mhm.
myself. So that's why I wrote this book.
Okay. Wow, that was great. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you said you did a tour. I read your book. I already know the answer. So,
Mhm.
how many tours did you do?
I did my first tour in 2008 was in Baghdad, Iraq, and then in 2010 I went to Afghanistan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And you said that the writing was very therapeutic for you. I know a lot of people that when they go through some traumatic event, you
Hmm.
know, the therapy is to write. It is a part of release. It's just like crying. You know, a
Yep.
lot of people, you know, matter of fact, I know someone that's actually going to visit a psychiatrist. They had some major grief in their life and they really just never grieved. So,
Hmm.
and basically, you know, just that release outlet is so important. So I'm glad you found
Yeah.
something constructive to do
Hmm.
there.
Thank
That's
you.
it. Now, also know that you do some speaking engagements. I know
Hmm.
I followed you on Facebook and I seen you go to a lot of different schools and encourage young folks. What message are you delivering to them to encourage them?
Well, my first thing that I do with them is this little ritual of clap your hands if you believe in yourself, and I had them clap
Yes.
their hands, you know.
Mhm.
And one, my purpose in going to the youth is to inspire them to become their best person, you know,
Mhm.
and that's treating each other with fairness. You know, I talked about bullying, you know, I talked about believing in yourself and having confidence. I talked
Yeah.
about respecting their teachers and their peers, you know, and
Oh,
working
that's.
as a community. So
Mhm.
I talked about that with the students, and we also talk about mental health. I share parts of my journey from PTSD and even growing up as a child whose mom and dad weren't married and they split, you know, and
Mhm.
growing up with a step parent. And I share those things with them, exposing parts of me so that they then open up. And a lot of those kids, they open up and they share stories. I've heard some traumatic stories that they've been through. And it's all the more reason why I do it, you know. So
Yeah.
I do that with the students.
Yeah. And I think that is so good because a lot of the kids sometimes, or not just kids, but people think that they're the only one going through something. I
Hmm.
know many of times I always try to be the strong one, but man, I tell you, I started this prayer group and I have really never opened up like I did before because
Yeah.
everybody like, oh, that's Antoine, he's got it together. Man, I'm in that prayer group. They said, man, you falling apart over there. But I
It's
think
falling
it's the
apart.
good thing is just to be able to share because
Right.
you just never know the load that some people are carrying. And then
Hmm.
just to be able to release and just share with others, it's awesome. So
It
that's pretty
is.
good that you do for the kids.
Thank you.
Um, I also know that talk about your organization that you have live and tell
Live
us
in love.
yeah, live and love.
Yeah, so I started Live in Love around the same time. I think JT had already, your son, for those who don't know, but his son JT and I linked up from my friend Don, who's their relative,
Yeah.
and from Virginia. And you know, JT was doing Be Bright, you know, and I was newly to the nonprofit world. And so with
Yeah.
Live in Love, we partnered up. You saw it, we were feeding the homeless,
Yeah.
back to school drives, and we would, I mean, me and JT, I love your son so much, man. That's my boy because he has a pure heart. And he, like, we talked about, like, hey, maybe we should join our nonprofits together and just like do something like that a while ago before the pandemic. But overall, Live in Love, I'm talking about JT, but JT is a big part of what, you know,
Mhm.
Live in Love is. We did a lot of work together. We partnered up together and we fed the homeless. And, you know, for Live in Love, we would go to mental health facilities with the youth, and we would sit down and talk to the youth there. We would I would take some of my projects from UNC Charlotte over there, and I would teach certain things about physics and calculus, little stuff to show them, to pique their interest about college, because a lot of them think that they're headed down a path of a purposeless life, because of their experience, their trauma. And my goal is to show them that your trauma still has purpose within it. There's purpose in your trauma. And so that's what Live and Love is for. I sat it down because I was going to school, and now I started my job, and I had this whole transition with the baby coming, and it's just like so a lot is happening, and I'm writing another book, 2 books. So Live and Love is kind of sitting right now, but I'm still doing things in the community. I'm feeding the homeless. I'm doing random acts of kindness to people in the grocery store. Just to still be effective as a nonprofit organization.
Oh, that's good. I think everybody needs to have a nonprofit organization to help give back. I saw some of the projects that you guys worked on, and I mean that's good stuff right there. Now, I wasn't going to mention the baby, but since you did, I know, like you said, you got a new job working for a big company. How's that going?
Man, it's real. I would. Right. It's a real big difference. I'm grateful for it. Of course. I just got off, maybe a few minutes ago, and I was like rushing to get stuff ready because I had to stay a little late to work with a client. But it's really good. It's teaching me a lot about what I don't know. We always think we know everything. I know electrical work, but doing software is so different that it's humbling me on this journey of purpose. So it's going great.
I don't know if you knew, that's what I do. I work for a big bank, and I'm a developer. So and I kind of got the shock was I was on a particular program for 14 years where I was the sole developer. So they yanked me off of that and put me on a new team with new technology I don't know. So it was like, I told my wife, I feel like I'm in high school. But the only issue is that they, I'm trying to sever the old stuff, but since, I'm still in the same company, I'm still being bothered. So it's hard to concentrate. So, with your new job and your new baby, I mean, it's got to be tough to kind of juggle all of that stuff. How do you juggle all that stuff? And because, like I say, I think you've been married for about 2 years.
Oh no, since 2016. So it's
2016. Okay, a little longer than that. Okay, so how's that going?
Which one, the marriage or the
all of it?
How do I handle the juggle? Okay, so the marriage one is going
5-year point there.
So the marriage is going great. My wife is doing well. The baby's kicking. She's in there all the time. I sing to her and stuff, and she's always kicking. Man. So everything is good here. As far as how do I balance everything, my friend Deshay back at my church in Charlotte, he once prayed for me one time, and I didn't know what I was going up for prayer for, but I just knew that I was going to get a good prayer, and he prays with me, and he's like, Alan, you're juggling a lot of things, and you're thinking about taking some things off, and he's like, God doesn't want you to do that. You need to pray for God to increase your capacity. And that was a couple of years ago. And that prayer, I felt like it changed a lot because I prayed for God to increase my capacity, in order so that, when you increase the capacity of a battery, it can store more energy.
That's right.
So for me, in my spiritual walk, I had to ask God to increase my capacity so that I could do the things that he's given me the desire for.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Boy, that's good right there. It's just like, love. You say, hey, how can you, you love your wife, but now you got a baby, you're going to love even more. It expands. It's amazing. It doesn't decrease. It actually expands. So
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's one thing I had to learn. I tell you, just like, I got 3 boys, and love them all, love all of them. So matter of fact, two of my boys actually do shows on Amazon Live. And their 2 shows are ranked higher than mine. But I don't know.
That's all right.
Hey, look, I had to pull my ace card with you today, though. I say, hey, I got something. I'm going to beat you guys today. I got an author here. So I think I'm going to beat them this week.
Yeah, you got them this week.
Yeah, we got them this week. So I was going to ask you a question about your website. Talk about your website, because I know you're on a couple of different social media platforms as well.
Yeah, so my website, I made my website. I'm very proud of my website, AlanLeviSimmons.com. I spent the first part of no, it was during my senior year in college. I took like a month and I was like, I'm taking this month and I'm building my website. I'm not paying anybody to do it for
There
me.
you go.
Right. So I YouTube, doing different things, and I've learned so much by doing
Yeah,
it myself.
it is.
So I built my website, and on my website, I have my podcast, The Purpose Pod. I have my motivational speaking, Alan Levi Speaks. I have my motivational apparel, Never Stop, Never Quit, Repeat, Persist Motivational Clothing. I have my book on there as well.
Yeah.
So I have, and then my brunch with ties and heels,
Oh,
that was an
yeah.
event that I did in Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to bring that here in the Raleigh-Durham area, but that was a professional development brunch for professionals. We talked about everything from life to purpose to our existence, and it was just very very effective conversations that connected people together. So, I have all of that stuff in the bundle on my website.
Okay. Yeah, I got a comment here on Amazon Live. I wish we could pull their comments in here on StreamYard, but someone wrote great book. That was JT. He wrote he's
JT,
watching on
it,
Amazon Live. Appreciate that, Juwan. Man, I tell you, Neil, as you said, your Purpose Pod. Now, like I say, I've been watching your Purpose Pod. I need a DJ for that DJ Dobby.
Oh, DJ Dobby, get it right.
Now, I've been really impressed, and I can say I've watched your podcast because, man, you have some A-listers up there. I mean, I'm just going to get a little sick. How do you get those contacts like that?
That's another good question.
Contacts.
So I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, I need to talk about like how I found the people that I've interviewed, right? And when I first started off in March of last year, I did not know how to start a podcast. I did not know how to use StreamYard. So all of that was new to me. I was like, I'm going to interview 30 people in 30 days.
Wow.
Right. So every day I interviewed people, just different people. James Bradbury, he was with the Carolina Panthers. He's a cornerback. He's with the New York Giants now. Top cornerback. I was connected with James Bradbury from a friend of mine, Mario. He's my barber in Charlotte. And, so I was connected with him there. I invited him to the podcast. Khalid Kareem, I met him at Notre Dame University. He's with Cincinnati Bengals defensive end. I interviewed him, Maya Stolian. And it was just like the people that I've interviewed, some of them were people that I knew. Now with Maya Stolian and these other people, Maya Stolian is an actress, and I saw her on a Netflix movie, and she was with Omar Epps and Nia Long,
Right.
and I was like, I want to interview her. And so I reached out to her on Instagram. Hey, my name is Alan. Here's my story. This is what I want to do. Could you join me on my podcast? And she was like, sure. Right. Wow. So a lot of times it's not even that hard, especially if it's the person that is doing the interview. If you go out there and just how you reach out to me, it was like, hey, do you mind joining me on my show? And either they ignore or either they answer, either way, you got to shoot your shot.
Right. Man, I just got to tell you, you have had some great guests, and every time I come to your Purpose Pod, I'm writing down notes, and I'm just picking up all types of nuggets. And I know you got another little young follower. Me and him normally are following you. What's
Brendan,
his name?
Brendan.
Oh, Brendan,
He's an awesome kid.
Yeah. We're actually going to give away one of your books here. So if anyone's on Amazon Live, make sure you follow. And we were going to add you to the pot here to give away one of the great books here. Can I Speak with Alan Levi Simmons? So I tell you. So let me ask you a question. I got a son that writes poetry, and I've been telling him for years to write a book. He enters a lot of these poetry contests. I'm like, man, I think they're stealing your content here. I like, you need to wrap this thing up and get a book done. So what encouragement for young writers would you have to get started or get a book published?
Yeah, I think the first thing is to realize what you have. It's impossible to go out and plant a seed if you don't know the power of that seed. So I would say, recognize the gift that's inside of you. Recognize the work that you've already written. A lot of people think, oh, I have to write new stuff in order to write a book. No, use what you already have, and make something of that. Figure out what your goal is for it. If it's just, hey, I want to get my work out there to copyright it and to get it in front of people. That's what I did. I was like, you know what? I wrote all of this. I wanted to do something more than just sit on my phone and my computer. I'm going to put it in a book. So you have to put action with the idea. If it's just an idea and no action, you will never see the fruit from your labor. So action.
DeAndre, did you hear that? He's back there. I'm
That's
trying to light
action.
a fire on him, boy. I tell you, to get going. So did you self-publish the book?
Yeah, so I went through Divine Legacy Publishing, and Amanda Chambers, she walked me through the process of writing a book, and she wanted to make sure that Black authors were able to have royalties on their books without having to divide it with other people. So I just pretty much went through the training with her, paid her dues, and now I'm able to receive royalties from my book as a self-published author.
All right. So you guys hear that? We need you to buy these books here.
Somebody
said, well said in the Amazon chat.
Yeah.
Make sure you buy a book. And like I say, we're going to be giving one away free. So make sure you enter the contest. You can enter the contest simply by taking a screenshot and sending it to live@computerpile.live. And what we'll do, we'll take those and randomize it, and if you win, you win. That's the way we're going to do it, and we'll be sending out a free book. We also my wife actually did some work for us as well down in the carousel. She kind of went through it and picked out things that writers have. She got like a thesaurus down here. She got a Chromebook. She did a good job on that.
You get a couple of things while you go ahead and get your little shop on.
Yeah, get your little shop on. So man. So I heard you said you were writing a couple of more books. Now I know my son Jawan. Let me give you this quick story here. You'll like this story. Well, obviously I wanted my son to be my first author on this series. He said, "No, go ahead and let Alan do it." I'm like, man, people are going to say this guy done dished his own son. I'm like, wow. But the wife said, "Hey, we're going to pass it to you." So
appreciate it,
wow.
Brother. Appreciate it.
So
Appreciate
as you're writing these different books, or here's a question I had: are you writing like multiple books at the same time, or there's in a series, or how's that going?
Yeah, so I started off with one, and then I'm a visionary, as my friend Tracy would call it, and I start to envision things, and I'm in the middle of doing something like writing a book. I'm like, oh, another book, right. So one, I'm writing a book about purpose. And I don't know what I'm going to title it yet, but it's a book about purpose. And then the second one, I want to write a letter to my daughter and write a children's book from that, so I kind of started a letter to my daughter, and I probably have like 2 sentences on there because you have to start. And then and then with my other book about purpose, like I have a format. I met with this nice lady named Emily. She's a ghostwriter, and she just gave me some tips on writing and formatting my book. And one thing she mentioned that I want to share with people is if you're writing and you have main ideas that you want to cover, put those as if they were chapters for your book. And then instead of saying I got to start with chapter 1, you're able to bounce between those chapters whenever something inspires you. Or when you're not inspired and you just like, man, I remember this story about my grandmother. Let me write this here. So,
man, so that's good. So you're not writing them. So you are kind of writing them at the same time.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Okay. I'm picking up, because I believe that since I'm starting it and the desire, so I said action with the desire, right? So I have the desire and the idea, and now I'm putting action. So that just brings me comfort versus like having an idea and never doing anything with it. So I may write it by the end of this year, or I may write it by March. I'm just going to move forward and let it work itself out.
Yeah, I like what you said. You at least got to start, because a lot of people have a lot of great ideas, a lot of dreaming, but a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. You got to start writing. And this book is really nice. One thing I like about it is the format. It's easy to read. Yeah. There's some books I pick up, and just the font, the feel of it. I just cannot get into it. Your book, I was able to accept it, feed it. Tell you, some books are very difficult to read. This was really good to read.
Thank you.
Now, I know my friend, he wrote a book of poems, And matter of fact, he's going to be up here. Got to figure out. He's an older guy. He doesn't like technology. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get him up here. But his book of poems are dynamic. They're all Christian poems. And I'm telling you, I'm like, did you write this? I'm like, man, it was just really cool. I get his book and just read these poems. He does a great job. His name is Nathaniel Jones on Facebook. Jones. He does a great job. Okay. Now, I know, like I said, you're a writer, you're an entrepreneur, you got a baby coming, new job. But what a lot of people also don't know is you do some dancing. I seen you doing some dancing out there. Tell
I know how to cut a little
rug. In your room, you be doing all that movement.
Right, just get it in, the pop locking. Yeah, I love, I love dancing, and I don't do it as much as I used to. My friends would tell you, from a child to really high school and military. I was overseas coming back from Afghanistan one time, and we stopped in like Turkestan or something, and I got on. They had a little contest, and I got on stage and started dancing and stuff. Overseas, I danced everywhere I've been, Iraq and Afghanistan. But I fell in love with dancing from Michael Jackson when I was like 6 years old, watching him on the TV screen.
Oh, yeah.
And I started doing all the dance, moving my socks in the kitchen, so it's ironic that I'm dancing in my kitchen now as a grown man. But yeah, I promised myself one thing, that I would never stop dancing, because it gives me joy and it gives me like a connection to the child that I once was, so it keeps that alive.
I try to dance, but my wife tell me I can't, so that really discourages me. I remember when I saw you were at one event that I think you and Jawan was hosting, and man, you did 80. That. Oh my God, what that! I just love that performance and the song. That was my first time hearing that song. It was like real. I like, wow, I was blown away. That was really good. Jawan had me around there taking pictures. Man, I tell you, he had me doing some of everything.
Yeah, you was doing a good job.
Man, I just go around taking pictures. I'm the treasurer for his nonprofit. I tell you, he just puts me where I like, Jawan, I have a nonprofit. Look, I got my own nonprofit. I'm on Jawan's nonprofit, and then my wife's sister has a nonprofit. I'm on that one. Look, I can't do another one. I said, I got to get
that. You might need that capacity increase.
I need the capacity and each one of them are so great. Yeah. I mean, Jawan's organization and the one that I do is Minutes of Truth, where we we do messages there, and we've kind of enjoyed doing that. And then my wife's sister, is that right? That's right. My sister-in-law. Yeah. Her organization is called S&K Love. And basically she's going to be up here. She actually has 3 books as well on Amazon. Yeah. Man, what a great story. And one of the things that that you said, she said to me also, she started her organization where she was pregnant. I'm telling her story before she gets up here. She started her organization. She was pregnant with twins, and had them premature, and they both passed. And then she started an organization, and then she wrote her first book as therapy to tell her story, what happened. And it's so awesome because her organization works with a hospital and help parents that lost their premature babies. Wow. So man, it's a great organization. So that's why I'm glad we're starting this series with authors, because they got a story to tell and hope to really encourage someone, to let them know that no matter what you're going through, you'll get through it. I always tell people, to go through it, you got to be in it. My mom always say, to get to, you got to go through, and that's so true. So man, I tell you, I appreciate it for you taking the time here. Did you have any more words you wanted to share with the audience while we have them here?
Yeah, whatever. So I would say this, for those of you who don't know, I guess my big story is, that I'm a PTSD veteran, who came back from Afghanistan after suffering a traumatic brain injury from a RPG explosion, which is a rocket propelled grenade. We were ambushed in Afghanistan in 2010, and I found a roadside bomb. I was standing next to a roadside bomb. A very miraculous moment that day was when I heard the voice of God speak to me and told me that I needed to look by my foot. He said, "Look by your foot." I looked by my foot. There was a haystack. he said, look under the haystack. I look under the haystack, and there was a propane tank bomb under the haystack. And thank God it did not explode. We had a radio jammer that was jamming the signals. And, after that, we get into a firefight, a gunfight with the Taliban. And after trying to regroup with the rest of our platoon, a rocket propelled grenade landed a few feet in front of me and just blew me backwards. And I had this experience where my ears were ringing. And in my poem, bombs bursting. It was, my ears are ringing like a smoke detector, my heartbeat singing loudly, slowly fading into a whisper. I'm trying to paint this picture, and I take the time to share that because in my poem I talk about, and that's in my book as well, bombs bursting. I talk about my experience in Afghanistan when the RPG blast happened. I talk about when I went through depression and my suicidal thoughts, and I had another miraculous moment in my life in Virginia when I was tired of taking the pills. I was tired of feeling like something was walking in my home or somebody broke in my home and was waiting for me. These thoughts continued to pursue me every day. And there was one day where I just was like fed up. I was home. It was nighttime. It was no one else there with me. I lived in my own apartment, and, I had my pills laid out on the bed, and, I had my gun in my hand, and I'm sitting here like, this is it. I had never been here before. I've never been at the place of like, this is it. A lot of people can't imagine the this is it moment, when it's like, I am about to choose to take my life, and all the thoughts came into my head, like, no one's here to stop me, like nobody cares that I'm doing this, like those lies that came in my mind. And then the miraculous moment was when this Bible that was sitting on my nightstand next to my bed that my grandmother gave me the Bible that was sitting next to my bed, and the street light just miraculous, like it just seems like a miracle because the street light was regularly shining through the window, but it was hitting the Bible.
Wow.
And like I felt this conviction like hit my heart. Like at this time I was not in ministry, wasn't doing ministry, wasn't doing any. I was a Christian since I was like 12, and that's where I was, that kind of person. And it's not like a bad thing. I was just like, I was not pursuing a relationship with God for him to like be like, hey, Alan, don't do this, right?
Right.
So, and that's what the world thinks, right? The world thinks that God won't save them because they've been through trauma, or they're not clean, or they're going through pornography addiction, they're going through alcohol and marijuana addictions. No, God still loves you.
Right.
So when that happened, I felt the conviction in my heart, and then I heard a voice, that same voice from Afghanistan, say, who are you to take your own life when I brought you from the land of your enemy? He told me those exact same words in my spirit. I heard it. And I broke down crying on the floor. Nobody physically was there to stop me but God. And I literally was in a fetal position with the gun in my hand, and I just fell asleep crying and pawned my gun the next day. So that's the major part of my story, is about the trauma, about the PTSD, about the depression. And that's why my motto is never stop, never quit, repeat, is because I believe that if you continue to persist through life, if you continue to move past the trauma, move past the hurt, and address your trauma, address the hurt, and let go of the past and move forward to your future, you will achieve all your goals. And if you trust in God, you trust that God has a plan for you, you trust that God will give you the spirit of courage, the spirit of strength, the spirit of, like you just have to believe that God will give you power.
That's right.
And he says, I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So we have to remember that even though we're in trauma, it doesn't mean that we have to be consumed by it if you let it in you. So you can be in a situation, but you don't have to let that situation in you. So,
man, I tell you, and I love the way you shared that, because I've been there. A lot of people, I think, we're not going to be absent from fear, but we can't be overcome by it. And I'm telling you, just like I know you've done some many public speaking, and I've preached so many sermons. Every time I get up, I'm nervous. My wife say, "You done did it 1,000 times." I say, "You have no idea." I mean, it's just something you know that he's in control, but you got to overcome it. Because I'd be a nervous wreck. I like, man, do I need to continue this? Because I'm a nervous wreck. Right. So do you ever feel like that when you got to go up and speak? Because I mean, it doesn't look like it.
Nah, it like people think that I'm so like bold, or fearless in a sense, but I really believe that every time that I've gone up to speak, or even like with the open mics with poetry, I used to force myself to go on the mic and speak my words to people. And I would be trembling, my whole body, except for the phone, my whole body's trembling and I'm just holding it up. Oh, so I have felt that experience. And I think it's humbling when you have that, because you're not going up there in you. Like you're not going up there like, oh, I'm the man, I'm going to do this. You're going up there because you have a purpose to be up there. That's right. And you want to make sure that you're being effective in your purpose. So I think that feeling is a recognition of you can't do it by yourself.
Man, I'm telling you. Well, we got some great comments coming in here on Amazon. Amber said, good stuff, never stop, never quit, never repeat.
Thank you.
Now, Alan, where can they order your shirts? Now, I hate to say this. I'm wearing my son's shirt. I tried to find yours. I was in there, tearing up my closet. My wife said, let's just grab one. Yeah. So where can we order shirts for Never Stop, Never Quit, Repeat?
You can go to shoppersist.com. Shoppersist.com.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like persistence is just like that. So persist.
Okay. So I know we don't supposed to be running traffic, but then another one we got this is one of the I think this is Rosalinda. She jumps in on a lot of streams here. Mm-hmm. She says this. She says, "I agree. The sky is the limit." Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rosalinda, for watching tonight.
That's right.
Yeah, we forgot to do our little. I wanted to pull up a video of you dancing, but I tell you, man, I don't want to mess up the screen here. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, we might mess up something on here. But I can do a poem or something if you want.
Yeah, man, I would love to do a poem. Before you do that poem. Remember those that's on Amazon Live, if you want to enter the contest for a free book of Can I Speak with Levi Simmons, make sure you just take a screenshot of your follow and send it to live@computerpile.live, and you'll be entered in our contest, and we'll get that out to you tonight. But now we got a great poem that's going to come up from Alan. He's going to share with you. Man, I appreciate that.
No problem. This is coming from the first book of Can I Speak, the first chapter. This is page 1 from Can I Speak, and I'm going to read it because I usually butcher it when I freestyle it. Mm-hmm. I'm a freestyle it, but let you guys know that it's butchered because my performance piece is different than my written piece. So I'm gonna do, but it's failure. Okay, it's just some words are different. Don't try to follow. You gonna try to follow through on there? Don't try to follow through on there now. I'll tell you, I'm gonna lose you. All right, so here it goes. Failure. Don't let failure imprison your mind, bring scoliosis to your spine and leave you bent. You were born to be great, set aside to be great. Your every breath is more precious than diamonds and pearls. Step out from this world and take a leap into your destiny. Look into the mirror and see what others cannot. You are royalty. Your loyalty should be shown by how much you have grown. Seeds of failure and success have both been sown, but please don't step down from your throne. Keep marching, keep moving. You are almost home. Did anyone hear your story and said your story had no meaning? Did anyone hear your dreams and instructed you to stop dreaming? If so, let them go. Let them watch God take you from the valley into your promised land. Take my hand as I remove you from this quicksand. Fly with me. Gather your feathers, lift up your head, and aim to the stars with me. Stretch and reach the heights with me. Unbreakable people will be tested by pressures that measure their durability. Do you believe in your abilities? Do you believe in God's ability? You are unbreakable.
Good. I was following it. Man, you wrote that.
I did.
That came from the heart right there.
Yeah. That was in the heart.
Man, that was in the heart. That's good stuff right there. Yeah. And talking about failure, you probably heard the saying is, in order to succeed, you must first fail.
You have to.
I mean, I'm telling you.
Failure is beautiful when you learn the journey of life. You learn that failure isn't the last stop. Once you learn that after you fail and you get back up, you can fail again. The beautiful part about our living in life, I'm sorry to go in. I didn't.
No, this is good.
Okay.
Go
So the beautiful part that I enjoy most about life is the ability to try, the gift
Yes.
of trying, the
Oh, man.
power of
That's
trying,
it.
because that means that we are alive and we
That's
have the
right.
ability and power to do so.
That's right.
So yeah.
Well, and then like you said too, you kind of get stuck in the comfort zone. You probably heard of this. And man, I'm telling you, the thing that happened to me at work, I was in my comfort zone. Man, you couldn't mess with me. I do this program inside out.
Right.
But I was just yanked. And pulled into new technology. But you know what? The opportunity is awesome. Is new technology. The stuff I was on was old. And like you said, it's just the opportunity. You know, I was talking to my new manager, and like, man, I said, I'm a little worried here because I don't know. He said, don't worry, you're going to make some mistakes. But he said, we like your enthusiasm that you want to learn it, and that's what life should be about. We should get up, say, hey, what new challenges can I face today? And you'll be amazed. One thing I'm sure of, the strength that God gives you to overcome is amazing. You'll be amazed what you can accomplish. Then you'll look back. My mom's favorite song is say, all that I've been through, she said, I don't look like what I've been through. And the Lord just empowers you to do great things. And I like what you said, because you'll find out it is not you. It's not me. It's him. So that's good encouragement there.
Yeah. Definitely.
So do you get to work with any of the vets that are going through PSD? Do you kind of talk to them kind of how you overcame and methods that you use to get over?
Yeah. So one of my big projects now is I actually found my straw man, or my the avatar audience of who I believe I should be speaking to in this season of my life. And it has been on my heart to speak to veterans, especially what confirmation came from what's happening in Afghanistan right now. That just brought confirmation that my story, my message is needed in our community. Over the past, I worked with a Reboot Combat Recovery, and it was a 12-week course that we took people through. It was faith-based. So it was really life-changing to go through it myself and then to help lead a course as well.
Okay. Well, yeah, we had a comment here from Rosalinda. I'm pretty sure that's her. She's going to get me if that's wrong. She said, I heard every word, Alan, virtual applause. And then somebody got a question here. Let's see what this says here. What will the kids book be about? He's writing it. He doesn't know yet. Does he know?
The kid. So the kids book for letters to my daughter. I'm definitely planning on writing a book about courage. And also I'm going to share some of my flaws as a person, to really, when my daughter reads this book, I want her to see the human in me. I want her to be able to connect with me as when I was a child and I was afraid of the dark, when I was a child and I felt alone, I felt like, so I felt like no one heard me. No one, I want to make sure that I reach kids where they are, and also inspire them to be the impossible. So I'm going to tackle a number of things in there, character building. I don't know. I'm all over the place right now, so I'm gonna hone in on something. Just stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, Alan Levi Simmons, and stay tuned.
Yeah, make sure you follow his Purpose Pod. I'm telling you, you will get a blessing off of following that. Let me see here. Let me see if we got any more questions here on Amazon here. Okay, thank you, Amber. Oh man, we're doing really good on Amazon tonight. I tell you, man. I told you I brought the A-lister in here. Somebody say, somebody say any thriller. I can't even pronounce the word. Thrillers or comedy coming out.
And the list. That's something that I'd have to really think about, because that's a different avenue right there.
That's totally different right there.
I know inside of this book right here, Can I Speak? I have some thriller. I mean, I have different stories. It's not just about war. I have different stories about being victorious. I have a motherless child. I have Destiny, the Heart of Destiny, which is about this young lady who's beautiful, but she's having home trouble with her parents. I have different poems about the silence of fall, about chains falling, war, being victorious, lead. So there's different things that I have in there. I have a prison tale when I talk about this young man who was in prison because of a situation with a robbery, and but it's a fictional story, but I take real world situations and I bring the feeling, and I want to make people empathize with my characters. So that's my goal.
All right. Well, you got another comment. Rosalinda is staying out with us tonight. Thank you.
She want to win that book.
She wants to win that book. Rosalinda, make sure you email live@computerpile.live. We only got about 3 people in it.
You deserve it.
Yeah, you deserve it. You hung out with us. I think Alan just gave you the book. Rosalinda,
you got the book.
Send us the email.
In the email, Ross.
Yeah, here's her comment. She says, it's always to be a voice to many across the world and share our stories because it could save a few lives. I stand by this daily. I'm excited to read the book coming out, Alan. Great.
Thank you,
Rosalinda, for doing that. So, man, I tell you, have encouraged many tonight.
Thank you.
And that's what it's all about, being that light to others. I think many a times we always want to just receive, but it's about giving. And I think with your organization, your purpose pod, you're helping so many folks. And man, I tell you, we just want to encourage you to keep going forward, keep letting the Lord use you. And like I say, I hope when you get a chance to come back to our show for us when you write those books, we would love to have you. To have you.
Yeah, hopefully my daughter could be sitting on my lap when I have that.
There you go. There you go. Put her on your lap. She'll be running all around.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody. Okay, ask me. Let me type this in here.
Okay.
I'll try to do it. They want the email. So yeah, Rosalinda, we're going to send you that book. So I'm going to type this in, Alan. Okay. So Alan, as we leave here, we talked about you inspired the young kids to write. So if I'm an older person, what would you just give them the same advice to get started on the book?
Man, older people, us older folks, because I got gray hair. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'm up here with the wise ones. But I think that older people should definitely write a book. They should be the ones who have multiple books because of the stories that they have, the knowledge that they have. You have to do not let this life pass you by without releasing your knowledge.
That's it.
It's so important that you share your story, even if it's in if it's not first person, even if you don't use your name, even if you don't use other people's names, like tell a story that means something to you and reach somebody.
That's it. My mom, she's 83, and I've been telling her to write a book. I mean, the stuff that she's seen is amazing. So I sent her a voice recorder to kind of start, documenting this. My mom, she turned 83 in the hospital because she had contracted COVID.
But she's good.
Yeah, she's good, man. She recovered. I like, man, she is a fighter.
Right.
So, but I told her the story that she's been through. I mean, she has been through so much. And I just, like you said, because I know it's very therapeutic to write. And,
Don't make me call her. Don't make me call her and tell her to write that book.
Call her. She's got to write the book. I mean, I talk to her every night, and I'm telling you, every time I talk to her, I've learned something new about her life. I mean, it's just amazing.
You know what? Since you said everybody's tasking you with work, you go ahead and let your mama task you with a job of writing that book for her.
Look, I gave her a recorder. She better type it in there. I made to find a ghostwriter.
Hey, look, yeah, that's true. There's so many ways around it. Like, people don't have to write it. Like you said, they can use the audio, they can use the voice recorder, have somebody else transcribe the voice recorder. So it's so important that there's so many ways. Just start. Just start.
Yeah. So like I say, I sent her the recorder, and I'm really trying to encourage her. I'm going to actually send her the recording of this video, so that she can listen to it and say, "So, Cora, we're asking you to write that book."
Write that book, Cora.
So, man, I tell you, I don't want to take much of your time. I know that you had just got off work. I do appreciate that little snippet you put on Facebook saying you about to eat was it Chick-fil-A?
Oh, yeah, my Chick-fil-A. I had to, man, I was on the move. My wife was like, Alan, go get your Chick-fil-A. Hurry up back. And I'm telling you, I don't know how fast I ate that sandwich, but it's gone.
Chick-fil-A. Man, I tell you. Well, I appreciate that.
Thank
Man, I tell you, we had a good little crowd tonight.
Yeah.
So we're going to get that book out to Rosalinda. And like I say, man, anytime you want to stop by, do it. And now what is time of your next Purpose Pod? When is your next show?
September 14th is should be a Tuesday. The Purpose Pod, 6:50 p.m. DJ Davi goes live on the ones and twos. September that's the next month. Yeah, 14th. Yep. I have an artist, Stan Back. He's out here in Raleigh. I'm going to be interviewing him about his journey and his passion for music. So he has an amazing story. So I can't wait to get into it with him. So 6:50 p.m. on the Purpose Pod, YouTube, or Hey Tai app, which is an awesome app for Black businesses and Black news. So check out Hey Tai app for the Purpose Pod.
Okay. So can they get to the Purpose Pod from AlanSimmons.com?
Yes, they can.
Yeah,
it'll take them to my
scrolling across the bottom there. Go to Alan Simmons, LeviSimmons.com. And I'm telling you, I just love your intro. I mean, DJ Davi going, and then your intro kick, man. Look, I don't know if you saw my intro. I was trying to pump it up, but man,
yours is good. You got a good one too. If you ever need me to help you with the StreamYard, we could walk through some stuff.
Oh my goodness, I need some help here. I definitely. I didn't change the colors. They're blue. I just took the default and I was rolling.
You just went with it. I didn't
know how to send you the invite link. I say, oh my goodness, let's see what we're gonna do. You were the first one, so I think the next author will do pretty good. But man, you really encouraged me. You encouraged my audience. Thank you. We had a good. Had one more question down here. Amber, is that your wife?
Yeah, that's my baby.
Okay, she says, "Good job. Enjoyed this interview." Jawan says, "Very inspiring."
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Well, man, I'm gonna let you get back to your family, and you have a good time, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me on here. Have a good night, everyone.
Take care. Guys, that was Alan Levi Simmons. Can I Speak? We have a winner. We're going to be sending Rosalinda the book. And this is a great book. Make sure you check out the carousel, even though we're about to shut it down. Man, I'm telling you, I met this young man a few years ago on the mission field. And I tell you, I knew he was going somewhere, and he has really done a great job. He has a family, has a baby coming, and the Lord is really blessing him. Please support this young man as he continues to spread light in a dark world. And we will catch you next time on Computer Pile Authors.